The afternoon sun blazed through the massive glass windows of Terminal C at Harrison International Airport. Maya Johnson stood in line at gate 47, clutching her boarding pass with excitement bubbling in her chest. Her braided hair fell elegantly over her shoulders, and her brand-new business suit marked her transition from college student to working professional. Today was special. She was flying home to surprise her mother for her 50th birthday, and nothing could dampen her spirits. The line moved forward steadily as passengers scanned their tickets and walked down the jetway. Maya checked her phone one more time, smiling at the text from her father. "See you soon, sweetheart. Safe travels." She had no idea he was working today, probably flying some route across the country. Her father rarely discussed his schedule, always busy with his responsibilities. "Next." The gate agent's voice cut through the air like a blade. Maya stepped forward, her smile bright and genuine. The woman behind the counter, whose name tag read Karen Whitmore, looked up with narrowed eyes. Her expression shifted the moment she saw Maya, her professional mask slipping into something cold and suspicious. "Boarding pass," Karen demanded, her tone sharp and clipped. Maya handed it over, confused by the sudden hostility. Karen snatched the pass, examined it with exaggerated scrutiny, turning it over multiple times as if searching for a forgery. The scanner beeped green, confirming the ticket's validity, but Karen's frown only deepened. "This ticket," Karen said slowly, loudly enough for nearby passengers to hear. "Where did you get this ticket?" "I purchased it online 3 weeks ago," Maya replied, keeping her voice steady despite the anxiety creeping into her stomach. "Is there a problem?" "I need to see additional identification. Passport, driver's license, credit card used for purchase, and confirmation email." Maya's eyebrows shot up. She glanced behind her at the growing line of passengers, none of whom had been asked for anything beyond their boarding passes. A white couple in their 60s had just walked through with barely a glance at their tickets. An older man in a baseball cap had simply waved his phone and continued through. "Ma'am, I have my driver's license, but nobody else was asked for extra documentation." Karen's face flushed red. "Are you refusing to comply with airport security procedures? Because I can have you removed from this flight right now." The words hung in the air like a threat. Other passengers began whispering, some reaching for their phones. Maya felt heat rising in her cheeks, embarrassment mixing with anger, but she forced herself to remain calm. She pulled out her wallet, extracted her driver's license, and placed it on the counter with deliberate care. Karen examined the license with the same suspicious intensity, comparing the photo to Maya's face multiple times. She typed something into her computer, her fingers hammering the keys with unnecessary force. Minutes ticked by. The line behind Maya grew longer, passengers shifting impatiently. "Karen, what's the holdup?" A security guard appeared beside the counter, his hand resting casually on his belt. His name tag identified him as Tom Reynolds, and his eyes immediately fixed on Maya with the same suspicious glare. "This passenger is being difficult," Karen announced, as if Maya had done anything besides stand there quietly. "I'm verifying her ticket authenticity." "I haven't been difficult," Maya protested, her voice rising slightly. "I've provided everything you asked for. My ticket scanned green. I just want to board my flight like everyone else." Tom stepped closer, invading her personal space. "Miss, I'm going to need you to step aside. You're disrupting the boarding process." "I'm disrupting it. I've been standing here waiting while she checks documentation she never asked anyone else to provide." "Lower your voice," Tom commanded, his hand moving to his radio. "You're creating a disturbance. If you don't calm down immediately, I'll have you escorted out of this terminal." Maya's heart pounded against her ribs. This couldn't be happening. She had done nothing wrong, nothing except exist while being a young black woman trying to board a plane. Around her, passengers were definitely recording now, phones held up discreetly, capturing every moment of this humiliating encounter. I am calm, Maya said through clenched teeth. But this is discriminatory treatment, and you both know it. Karen's face twisted with false sympathy that made Maya's skin crawl. We have the right to refuse service to anyone who poses a security concern or displays aggressive behavior. Aggressive? I haven't raised my voice or made any threatening movements. You profiled me the second I walked up to this counter. Tom reached for Maya's arm. That's it. You're coming with me. Don't touch me. Maya stepped back, pulling her arm away. Her mind raced through options, fear and fury fighting for dominance. Then she remembered, her father always told her, when you face injustice, document everything and contact someone who can help. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands. Tom moved forward again, but Maya held up one finger. I'm calling my father. I have that right. Unless you want to add unlawful detention to whatever complaint I'm about to file. Her fingers found the contact labeled dead and pressed call. The phone rang once, twice. Maya's chest tightened. Please answer. Please. Hey baby girl, what's up? Aren't you supposed to be boarding right now? His voice, warm and familiar, nearly broke her composure. Dad, I need your help. I'm at gate 47, and they won't let me board. They're accusing me of being suspicious and threatening to have me removed. What? Who's stopping you? The gate agent and a security guard. Dad, I haven't done anything wrong. I showed them everything they asked for. They didn't ask anyone else for extra documentation. They're targeting me. Her father's voice changed, the warmth replaced by steel. Put them on the phone, Maya. They won't talk to you. They're threatening to arrest me for being disruptive, but I swear I've been nothing but polite. Don't move. Don't say another word. I'll handle this. 2 minutes, sweetheart. Stay strong. The line went dead. Maya lowered her phone, meeting Karen's smug expression and Tom's aggressive stance. 2 minutes. She could survive 2 minutes. Your father can help you now, Karen said with barely concealed satisfaction. You missed your boarding window anyway. Tom, please escort this young woman out of the gate area. I'm not going anywhere until my father arrives. Tom's hand closed around his radio. We need additional security at gate 47. Uncooperative passenger refusing to leave the boarding area. The other passengers in line began protesting, their voices rising in Maya's defense. An elderly black woman stepped forward. I watched this whole thing. That girl did nothing wrong. You didn't ask me for any extra identification, and you didn't ask that white family either. This is discrimination, plain and simple. A young white man in a business suit nodded vigorously. I'm recording this entire interaction. You two should be ashamed of yourselves. Karen's face went pale, but she doubled down. All of you need to step back and mind your own business, or you'll be removed as well. Then the crowd parted. A figure in a crisp navy blue pilot's uniform walked through the gate area with the commanding presence of someone who owned the sky. His captain's hat sat perfectly on his head, 4 gold stripes gleaming on his sleeves, and his dark skin radiated authority and controlled fury. Captain Marcus Johnson's eyes locked onto the scene at the counter, taking in his daughter's distressed face, the aggressive security guard, and the hostile gate agent in one sweeping glance. Maya, he said quietly, his voice cutting through the chaos like a knife through butter. Every head turned. Karen's mouth fell open. Tom's hand dropped from his radio. Dad, Maya breathed, relief flooding through her body so intensely she thought her knees might buckle. Marcus walked straight to his daughter, placed a gentle hand on her shoulder, and only then turned his attention to Karen and Tom. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of command that came from decades of flying passengers safely across continents. I'm Captain Marcus Johnson, chief pilot of this aircraft and this airline's senior captain for the entire Western region. This young woman is my daughter, and I want someone to explain to me right now why she's being exited at my gate. The silence that followed was deafening. Karen's face cycled through several shades of red and white. Tom seemed to shrink inside his uniform. Sir, we were just following standard security protocols, Karen stammered. Standard protocols? Marcus's eyebrow rose slowly. I've been flying for 23 years, and I've never seen standard protocols that involve singling out a passenger who has a valid ticket, demanding excessive documentation that wasn't required of other passengers, threatening arrest for asking reasonable questions, and attempting physical removal for, what exactly? Standing at a gate counter. She was being aggressive and disruptive, Tom interjected weakly. Marcus turned his full attention to the security guard. My daughter, who graduated top of her class from Howard University, who volunteers at youth centers every weekend, who has never had so much as a parking ticket, was being aggressive. Multiple passengers are recording this interaction. Would you like to revise that statement before I request the security footage? The elderly woman who had spoken up earlier stepped forward. Captain, I saw everything. Your daughter was nothing but polite. These two targeted her from the moment she stepped up to the counter. They never asked me or anyone else for extra identification. This was racial profiling, pure and simple. Other passengers murmured agreement, several holding up their phones to indicate they had video evidence. A new voice cut through the tension. What in the world is happening at my gate? A woman in an airport supervisor uniform rushed forward, her expression shifting from confusion to alarm as she took in the scene. Her name tag identified her as Patricia Chen, Terminal Operations Manager. Marcus turned to her. Patricia, good. I'm Captain Johnson. I want a full incident report on these two employees. My daughter was subjected to discriminatory treatment, harassment, and threats of unlawful detention while attempting to board Flight 2847. Patricia's eyes widened as she recognized the airline's most senior pilot. Captain Johnson, I assure you I'll investigate this immediately. Can someone tell me exactly what happened? For the next 5 minutes, passengers stepped forward one by one, providing testimonies. The young man in the business suit showed his video footage, which clearly captured Karen's hostile tone from the beginning and Tom's aggressive movements. The elderly woman described how no other passenger had been asked for additional documentation. Another passenger, a lawyer, offered to provide a written statement about the discriminatory treatment she had witnessed. Karen's face lost all color as the evidence mounted. Tom stood rigid, trapped by the weight of multiple eyewitnesses and video proof. Patricia's expression hardened with each testimony. Karen, Tom, you're both suspended effective immediately pending a full investigation. Badge and radio, Tom. Karen, log out of your system. Security will escort you both to my office. But I was just doing my job. Karen protested. Your job is to check boarding passes and assist passengers courteously, not to racially profile young women and threaten them with arrest for asking legitimate questions, Patricia snapped. Captain Johnson, Miss Johnson, I sincerely apologize on behalf of Harrison International Airport. This behavior is absolutely unacceptable and does not reflect our values. Marcus nodded slowly. I appreciate that, Patricia. But words aren't enough. This isn't just about my daughter. How many other passengers have Karen and Tom treated this way? How many people didn't have a father who happened to be a pilot on their flight? How many simply accepted the humiliation and walked away? Patricia pulled out her tablet, her fingers flying across the screen. I'm pulling up complaint records now. We'll conduct a comprehensive review of both employees' histories. Captain, you have my word that this will be handled properly. I want mandatory anti-discrimination training implemented for all gate agents and security personnel, Marcus continued, his voice firm but measured. I want clear protocols about passenger rights posted at every gate. And I want a system where passengers can report discriminatory treatment without fear of retaliation. Agreed. All of it. I'll bring these recommendations to our executive team today. Marcus finally allowed his professional mask to slip slightly as he turned back to Maya. You okay, baby girl? Maya nodded, tears threatening to spill over now that the crisis had passed. I am now. Thank you, Dad. You did everything right. You stayed calm, you documented what was happening, and you called for help. I'm proud of you. He pulled her into a brief hug, then smiled. Now, we have a flight to catch. Your mother is going to lose her mind when we both walk through that door. The passengers who had witnessed the entire ordeal broke into spontaneous applause as Marcus and Maya walked down the jetway together. Several people called out words of support and encouragement. The young man with the video promised to send copies to Maya for any legal action she might pursue. As they reached the aircraft door, Marcus paused and turned to the passengers filing in behind them. Thank you all for standing up and speaking out. That took courage, and it made a difference. It shouldn't require a pilot father to ensure fair treatment, but your willingness to be witnesses, to document injustice, to refuse silence, that's how we create real change. The flight attendants greeted them warmly, already informed about the incident. They ensured Maya got settled in first class, upgraded without charge, with extra care and attention. As the plane pushed back from the gate, Maya looked out the window at the terminal, processing everything that had happened. The fear, the humiliation, the anger, but also the hope. Hope in the passengers who had refused to look away. Hope in the supervisor who had taken immediate action. Hope in the knowledge that sometimes, justice could be swift and clear. Her phone buzzed with a text from her mother. Can't wait to see you, sweetie. Maya smiled, typing back, wait until you hear about my flight. Dad's here too. Long story. See you soon. The engines roared to life, and the plane lifted into the brilliant blue sky, carrying Maya home to the celebration that awaited, carrying a story of confrontation and vindication, carrying proof that speaking up against injustice, even when your voice shakes, even when you're scared, even when the odds seem stacked against you, still matters. Still changes things. Still makes a difference. Below, Terminal C grew smaller, but the ripples of what had happened there continued to spread, promising a future where maybe, just maybe, the next young woman wouldn't need a pilot father to be treated with basic human dignity and respect.